So let's start the session, my dears. So we are in the business mathematics class. As all of you know, chapter 1 we have completed and chapter 2 also we have completed in the previous sessions and we did in our past papers. And chapter 3, functions, differentiation, marginal cost and marginal revenue, profit maximization, break even point, integrations, right? See, these are the topics we have completed, and today we are gonna do the chapter 3 past papers. That is absolutely will give you 10 marks questions. We are gonna start from 2025 July paper section B. As you all of you can see from any paper, it will be the third question, right? Any paper you will have a full questions of a third question from this particular unit. So let's start from 2025 July paper here. A manufacturing company produces product X and total cost function per month is 1800, take away 6q plus 24q squared. And the demand function per month is given by P is equal to 24q, take away 3. So it is in the AQ A minus BQ formula, right? So where the Q is the number of units produced during the month. So you are required to identify the total revenue function and marginal cost function of the firm and calculate the break even quantity, that is for 4 marks, and calculate the selling price per unit at the break even quantity, that is for 3 marks. So altogether you're gonna make 10 marks from this question. It's so simple questions, my dears, if you understand the things. The first question is asking identify the total revenue function and marginal cost function of the firm. So let me take these to our Excel sheet now. Then you can understand the question. Give me 1 minute. Right, let's continue. Okay. So this is from 2025 July paper. A manufacturing company produces product X and the total cost function per month is this. And the demand function per month is given this. So you can understand from this, we have total cost function 1800 minus 6Q plus 24Q, right? So this 1800 is going to be the fixed cost and this minus 6Q plus 24Q is going to be the variable cost. So if we combine both, we can get the total cost function. We studied it in the previous session also, right? And the demand function, the P, the price function is 24Q take away 3. So this is the price function. So Q is the number of units produced during the month. First one is identify the total revenue function and marginal cost function of the firm. So to answer for this A question, my dears, we first want to understand how this revenue is working, right? So we need TR function. It means the revenue function. Always the total revenue we can calculate by price multiplied by the number of quantities we are selling. So as per this equation, this price is equal to this demand function. That's what P is equal to 24Q take away 3. So 24Q take away 3 is equal to the P in the formula. Then we have to multiply this by Q, right? So if it is that, this total revenue function will become this 24Q multiplied by Q and minus 3 multiplied by Q. So first, if we multiply 24Q into Q, we are going to get something 24Q squared, right? 24Q squared. And minus 3 multiplied by Q, we are going to have minus 3Q. This is going to be total revenue function. Did you understand? In the previous session also, we did so many, examples to grab this knowledge, right? So let me know Haiba and Ilma, Kifla, Nada, Rizan, Zahra, all of you. Did you understand how I get this total revenue function or the revenue function? Shall I get yes or no quickly, please? Did you understand? Right? So it's so simple. Always the revenue, this revenue means what? Revenue is always, the revenue, it's price times by the quantity sold, right? That's what I told you. So the price is equal to the demand function. That's what P is equal to 24Q take away 3. The Q is the number of units produced during the month. It means the number of units we are going to sell, right? So I just did it. There's nothing much more. Right. So now let's find out the marginal cost function. That is also part of the A question. So to calculate the marginal cost function, what are the elements we are having here? We are actually having the total cost function. So my dears, the derivative, right? Since this total cost function, if you, the derivative of total cost function, derivative in the sense, if we do differentiation, of total cost function, we will get the marginal cost function, marginal cost actually, right? So as per the previous knowledge, what is the differentiation of this total cost function, my dears? If you do differentiation, how it will become? I know I want to know the answers. Then only I can understand you understood well or not. If we differentiate this formula 1800 take away 6Q plus 24Q, after differentiation, how it will be? Ilma, Kifla, Nada, Zahra, Zikra. How will it be? Right? Nadarizan is saying MC is equal to 6 plus 48Q. Okay, minus 6 plus 48Q. What about other people? Is it correct? How will it be, my dears? If it is 1800Q, it is a number, it's a fixed number, so it will disappear in differentiation. Minus 6Q. If you take the minus 6Q, the Q is having power 1. So 1 into minus 6, right? Minus 6, and Q will lose the power 1, right? Because 1 minus 1 will become 0. So Q will become 1. So minus 6Q will become minus 6 only. Then plus 24Q will become 1 into 24, 24. Sorry, the function is 24Q squared, no? 24Q squared. This is the function, no? The total cost function is 1800, take away 6Q plus 24Q squared. Right. So minus 6, 2 into 24, 48. So 48Q, 1, 2 minus 1, 1. So 48Q, right? This is going to be your MC, isn't it? Yesterday we practiced this. Hi buddy, to understand how the derivative is working, 1800 is a full number, so it's going to disappear. Minus 6Q will become minus 6. 24Q squared is there. Take the power, multiply it by 24, it will become 48. The Q squared will lose 1 power, so it will become Q1, so we can write it as 48Q. That's a methodology of differentiation, right? Please, my dears, quickly, right? Please respond quickly. Did you understand Zikra, Zahra, Nada, Kifla, Ilma, Haiba? We don't have time. We have to do so many questions. Yes or no? Let me know. Then only I can proceed, no? Yeah, Zahra is okay. Other people? Kifla? Okay. Right. So confidently, you can do the differentiation, right? Right. So then we find out the MC function as well as the total revenue function. That will give you 3 marks. So simple, right? Then do the big part. Calculate the break-even quantity. You know, in break-even, my dears, the total revenue is going to equal to total cost, because in break-even means we are not going to make any loss or any profit. So the profit is always equal to 0. So in that point, total revenue is equal to total cost. So we don't need to do anything. What you have to do is total revenue functions. We know that 24Q, this one, 24Q squared, take away 3Q. So this is our total revenue function. And the total cost function also they have given here. This is the total cost function. So now we can find out the Q, right? In simply, what you can do is just type it here. In the calculator, 24Q, you can take it a variable like X, 24Q squared, take away 3 and press alpha equation, 1800, take away 6x plus 24 squared, and shift solve. X is going to be, isn't it? No, right? Something wrong? So 24, we have to put X. 24Q. Right, 24 also X cube. Okay, let's type it again. 24 X, there's a power 2. Take away 3Q is going to equal 1800. Take away 6X plus 24. Shift solve. X is equal to 600. Okay. So it means Q is equal to 600 units. So when the total revenue is equal to total cost, the Q, it means the number of production we have to do is going to be 600, right? So what's the meaning of 600? When you are producing or when you are selling 600, you are not going to make any profit or you are not going to make any loss. So it's going to be 600 units. This is the break-even quantity, right? So Zikra, sir, please explain the MC again. Zikra, did you watch the previous session? Please answer for this question. Otherwise, you are wasting others people time also. Did you watch yesterday's session? Because so many times I explained to you how we can calculate the MC function. That when you are doing the differentiation of total cost function, it will give you the MC function. So what do you have to do? For the total cost function, we have to do differentiation. I told you the rule for the differentiation. If it is full number, it will disappear, right? Let's take minus 6q. You are putting the minus here. The 6q, the q is having power 1. So take that power 1 and multiply it by 6. 1 times 6, 6. And the q is having power 1. Take away 1. So it will become q0. So q0 always equal to 1. So 6 into 1, it's going to have the 6. That's why I'm giving the 6 value, minus 6 value. And here, the same rule. Take the power 2. Multiply by the coefficient of q. 2 into 24, 48. And the q2, the power 2 will lose the 1. 2 minus 1, it will become q1. So I'm writing that as a 48q. That simple it is, right? It's not a black magic. Right. So that's how we find out. So the BEP unit is going to be 600 units. And the other thing is calculate the selling price per unit at the break even quantity. So it's going to be the C, right? So at break even, what is our selling price? So what do we have to do to find out the selling price? We know the price function and also we know the quantity. So what we have to do is take the price function. So the price function, we have to find out the price. So 24 into the break-even quantity is 600. So 24 into 600 units, right? 24. 24Q. The Q is 600. Take away 3. So 24 into 600. Take away, what is that? 14,397. It means in the break even, this is going to be the price. The P. The number of units produced during the month. And this 14,397, the price for 600 units. So if you divide by 600, it's going to give you 24. Selling price per unit. So let's prove it. So when you are selling by 24, 600 units, 24 into 600 will become 14,400, and we can find out the total cost by this function, right? We don't need to do this calculation, but a simple understanding is more enough, right? So the price give you for 600 units, if you are selling 600 units, the price is going to be 14,397. So if you divide by 600 quantities, it will give you the unit selling price. So that's how you can calculate the selling price per unit at the break-even quantity, right? I hope so you got the point. If you have any doubt, please let me know. I'll explain to you. And let's go with a 1.14 question from 2025 January. At the break-even point, the marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. Is it correct? Is it true or false? At BEP, is it marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost? Ilma is saying true. Ilma Farid is true. What about other paper? Please understand the question, Ilma. Just now we did. Can you remember in the BEP, the total revenue is equal to total cost, not marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. This is false statement. Can you remember this point? In BEP, break even point means what? Always the total revenue is equal to total cost. But in profit maximization, that's a different story. In profit maximization, we can consider MR is equal to MC, not in break even. So at the break even, there is no need the marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. Right? That's a false statement. Please understand the question, okay? Don't guess it anything. So it's a false statement. And let's do the section B question also here. The product's demand function per month is P is equal to 23 take away 4Q. It has a fixed cost of rupees 15,000 per month, and the variable cost function is Q squared plus 3Q per month, where Q is the number of units produced during the month in thousands, right? Okay. So now identify the total revenue function and the total cost function. Identify the profit function. Calculate the number of units at which is profit maximized. In the previous question, they have asked a total revenue function, MC function. In this question, total revenue function and total cost function. And the previous question, they have asked break-even quantity, but here identify the profit function and calculate the number of units which is profit maximized. Right? First, can you let me know? Please let me know what's the total revenue function and total cost function. You have to practice. What is the total revenue function and total cost function? Simply, what are the options we have? We have our demand function. It means our price function. 23 take away 4Q. Okay. And our fixed cost. It is rupees 15,000 per month. And the variable cost means VC means that is our MC. Okay. Anyhow, variable cost function is Q squared plus 3Q. These are the available data. First, identify the total revenue function. As per our knowledge, total revenue is equal to price into quantity short. So the price function to find out the total revenue, we have the price function that is 23 take away for Q. This is our price. Then for a quantity, yes, it's going to be Q. So the total revenue function will become 23 into Q. It will give you 23Q. And take away 4Q into Q, 4Q, 4Q squared, right? So 23Q take away 4Q squared is become our total revenue function. Okay, this is fine now. And we have to find out the total cost function. So how to calculate the total cost function? We need fixed cost, we need variable cost. So the total cost function is always equal to variable cost plus fixed cost. So we know both of them, right? So the total cost function, we can consider the fixed cost. Variable cost is, first we can, let's change the formula. First we can give the fixed cost because it's a number, then the variable cost. So fixed cost is 15,000 plus variable cost Q squared plus 3Q, right? So this is going to be our total cost function. For this, they will give you 4 marks. Very simple, right? And let's do this B question. The B question is identify the profit function. You know how profit is calculated, my dears. Profit is always the total revenue we earned. We have to remove the total cost, right? So that's going to be our profit. So we know our total revenue function, we already calculated 23Q take away 4Q squared. From this, we have to remove the total cost function this. Did you understand how I have got it? Did you understand? First, let me know. Is it make sense? My dears, without understanding, you can't go. Okay. Okay. Now what we can do is we can simplify this. 23Q take away 4Q squared and minus into 15,000 will become minus 15,000. Minus into plus Q squared, it's going to become minus Q squared. Minus into plus 3Q, it's going to become minus 3Q if you remove the bracket. Did you understand this step? Okay. Right. Now, let's rewrite it a little bit, grouping the similar items. We have minus 4q squared here. Minus q squared is here. If we have two items in minus, it will add, like minus 1 and minus 2 will become minus 3. Like that, what we can say? I can write this 23q, take away minus 4q squared and minus q squared, it will become minus 5q squared, right? If I mistake, let me know, right? Then minus 15,000 plus minus 3q. You got it, right? Then again what we can do? So I'm gonna write like this. From this 23q, we can get away this 3q, no? So 23q take away 3q will become 20q and 5q squared take away 15,000. Okay. Are you all right? Then again, if you write this also, this is correct actually. Okay. The profit function, if you write this also, it is correct. But even we can do some simplification by how? We can divide this entire function by 5. 20q, right? If you divide 20q divided by 5, it will become 4q. And if we divide 5q squared by 5, it will become q squared. And 15,000 divided by 5, you will receive 3,000. So this is also correct. This is a simplified version, right? So this is going to be our profit function. If you write this also correct, but you can make it simplified this also. You got it, Ilma? It's just a basic, mathematical thing. Okay. So this is going to be our profit function. All of you all right with this? Okay, right. So for this, they will allocate you 3 marks. Now the C question, calculate the number of units at which profit is maximized, right? So for this question, my dears, we know when the profit maximization happen. Profit maximization is always not the break even, okay? Profit maximization always in MR is equal to MC. For that, we need the MR. So how to calculate the MR function? We have to take the derivative. We have to differentiate the total revenue function. Then we can get the MR. Now, 23Q will become 23. Take away 4Q squared. 2 into 4, 8. 8Q. There will be only one power. So it will become 8Q. I hope so. You know very well now how to do differentiation for the total revenue function. You got it right? Okay, this is MR function. And let's talk about the MC function. If we do differentiation, it means if we differentiate the total cost function, we will get the MC. So the 15,000 is a fixed number, so it will disappear. What about Q squared? 2 into 1, 2, 2Q. So it will become 2Q. Plus 3Q will become 3. This is going to be our MC function. Now easily we can obtain the Q. What is it? 23 take away 8Q, it means 8 plus alpha equation 2x plus 3 shift solve x is equal to 2. It means Q is equal to 2 units. What's the mean? The profit is maximized as well as they set during the month. The Q is the number of units produced during the month in thousands. 2 means 2000 units. So we have to write it like this. The number of units that maximizes the profit is 2000 units, because the Q means thousands. They're representing in thousands. So if you get 2, it means actually 2000. How simple the answer is. You can easily earn 10 marks. Any question? And let's move to the section B, question number 3 of 2024 July paper also, my dears. A firm produces product A. Fixed cost per month is 6,000 and a variable cost function and demand function per month are as follows. How come 2000 units came? Simple. They mentioned, right? Q is the number of units produced during the month in thousand. If Q is 1, it means 1000. If Q is 2, it means 2000. Simple it is. Right? So 1Q is equal to 1000 units. That's the meaning they have set in the question. That's what 2 become 2000. Okay. Right. So then let's move this question. They have given the fixed cost, variable cost function and the price function, where Q is the number of units produced per month. You are required to identify the total revenue function and total cost function of the firm and calculate the number of units at which profit is maximized. This is the simplest question. Can you identify the total revenue and total cost function for me? It's very easy. Total revenue is equal to always price multiplied by the quantity we are going to sell. Okay. So the price, it's a price function. It means minus 3Q plus 1660. So this is our price. And quantity is Q, always it's Q. Now it will become minus 3Q multiplied by Q, it will become minus 3Q squared plus 1660Q. So this is going to be your TR, your total revenue function. Am I correct? Okay. Right. And the total cost function. The total cost function. You know the cost, the total cost is always include fixed cost plus variable cost. So fixed cost they have given per month is 6,000. And the variable cost they have given here, Q squared plus 1220 Q. That's simple it is. That is the total cost function. Okay. For this, they will give you 3 marks. This is the A part, the first part, right? A part, let's say A part. And the B question, calculate the number of units which the profit is maximized. So you know, profit maximization rule is simple. Profit maximization happen when the MR is equal to MC. Now the problem is how to find out the MR. MR, if you differentiate the formula of total revenue, you will get the MR function. So minus 3Q squared means 2 into minus 3, it will become minus 6. So minus 6, Q squared will lose 1 power. So we can simply say minus 6Q. Plus 1660 will become 1660. You know that, right? That is MR. Let's talk about MC. The derivative, it means when you differentiate the total cost function, it will give you the MC. So 6000 will disappear, it's a fixed number. 2Q, a Q squared, 2 power is the 2, 2 into 1 coefficient 2, 2Q, the power 2 will lose 1, so it will become 2Q. And plus 1220Q will become 1220 only. Okay. So this is our MR function, minus 6Q plus 1660. This is our MC function. So how to find out the X? Simply use the calculator for time saving. Minus 6 for variable Q, we can take X plus 1660 plus alpha equation 2X plus 1220 plus shift solve. X is equal to 55. It means the Q is equal to 55 units, right? So when you are selling 55 units, since the 55 it's not in thousand terms, right? They have set number of units produced per month. It's not in thousand terms or hundreds terms, right? So this is the profit maximization units. So then profit maximization number of units are 55. Okay. Now, there is a B part also. So this is A part. There are 1 and 2 questions. There's a B part. The total cost function per month of product N is given below. So this is the total cost function of a different product, right? Where Q is the number of units produced during the month in thousand. So when you find out the Q, if let's say you are getting 2Q, it means 2000 units. You are required to calculate the number of units at which the cost is minimized. How to do this? How to do the calculation? So we did this, right? I have explained to you in an example how to find out the cost minimization number of units. As you remember, what do you have to do? First, we have to find out the derivative of this total cost function. It means marginal cost function. So 12Q squared will become 2 into 12, 24Q. The power 2 will lose 1 power, so it will become 12Q. Right? 24Q. And 24Q will become 24 and plus 480,000 will disappear. Right? So we will find out the MC or the derivative. And after that, what we have to do? We will equate this to the 0. Can you remember? To find out the minimum point. As well as this function is a quadratic function with a positive plus 12. So definitely it's going to have the minimum value, right? If you equate this, you will get the minimum value. So now 24Q is equal to 24. So Q is become 1. It means Q is become 1000 units. So when you are producing 1000 units, your cost will be minimized. So this is the method you have to know. So how to find out the The number of units, it means the X value when the cost is minimized is very simple. If it is a minimum value, my dears, right, at that point, the cost is going to be reduced. If you see the graph, it will have the minimum value. So at that minimum point, the cost is minimized now. So that's what we are finding this. So let's take the derivative first, equate to 0, then it will give you the X value, right? So already I did this question also. So this is how you can do this question. And 24 January question, you can see the total cost function and the demand function of a firm per month are given by the following equation. I'm taking this question to the Excel sheet. Okay. First, identify the total revenue function and marginal cost function of the firm and calculate the marginal cost of the firm when the firm produces 50 units and calculate the break-even quantity. A little bit changed, but same methodology, same concept in the 2024 January question paper also. How to do the math here? The same methodology. Total revenue is always equal to price multiply by quantity. So I can say total revenue is always price times by the quantity we are selling. So for the price, we are going to have the price function. So the price function is 13Q take away 20. This is the price, P function. And Q is always Q and number of units produced during the month, not in thousand terms. So we will end up with the formula 13Q into Q, 13Q squared minus 20Q. So it is going to become our total revenue function. Am I correct? Okay. Then marginal cost function. They have given the total cost function. So the total cost function is 13Q plus 5Q take away 1000. So do the differentiation to find out the MC. 13Q will become 2 into 13. It's going to become 26. So 26Q squared will lose 1 power, 2 minus 1. So 26Q plus 5Q will become 5. And minus 1000 is the full number. It will disappear. So this is going to be the MC. And calculate the marginal cost of the firm when the firm produces 50 units. So we can put it in the, this is A question answers. For the B question, we know the marginal cost, my dears. 26. When we are going to produce 50 units, 26 into 50 plus 5, right? So 26 into 50 plus 5, it will give you 1305. So MC is going to be rupees 1305. Marginal cost is going to be, it means additionally producing one good will cost you 1305 when you are doing 50 units production. Okay. And the C question is calculate the break-even quantity. In break-even point, always the TR, total revenues, should equal to total cost. We know the total revenue function. This is our total revenue function we found in A question. And total cost function, they have given already here. This is the total cost function. Then you can calculate it. So I'm putting the equation here. 13Q, we will assume X. 13Q squared. Take away 20X alpha equation 13 q squared plus 5x, take away 1000, press shift, press solve. What is that? 13x squared, 20x is equal to 13. Okay, we have to put qx here. 13x squared plus 5x, take away 1000. Okay, let's type it again. What's going on? Okay, we didn't put x here, no? 13x squared. Right? X is equal to x is equal to 40. Right. So you have to type it carefully. X is equal to 40 means the Q is equal to 40 units. So the break-even quantity, break-even points is 40 units. Right? That's going to be the calculated break-even point. So when you are producing or selling 40 units, you are not going to make either profit or loss. Right? So please deal correctly with the calculator. So otherwise, if you do one mistake, one power mistake, so it will destroy your full marks. Right? So this is how, my dears, you can do the all questions. The any question is the same. Here, see, identify the cost function, total revenue function, marginal cost function, right? Break even quantity. The same thing. And again, 2022 July paper. Total cost function, total revenue function, break even quantity, calculate the number of units which the cost is minimized. The same type of question they will ask again and again. And here also, identify the total cost function, total revenue, marginal cost, marginal revenue, break even quantity. And 21 July also, total cost function, total revenue, and identify the profit function, break even quantity. And 2020 July, there is a part 1 question, simple question. Let's see that. At the profit maximization, marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. Is it correct? Yes, this is correct. Profit maximization, we will consider the MC is equal to MR. That is correct. Not TR is equal to TC. That is for break even. And part B 2020 July also the same thing. Identify the total cost function, total revenue function, profit maximized, the number of units which the profit is maximized. And they have given the total revenue and total cost function. You are required to find out the break even. So same questions. And 2020 July also, Identify the total revenue, total cost, profit function. Calculate the number of units which the profit is maximized. So you also will have the same questions. Calculate the total revenue function, total cost function, break even point, at profit is maximized, otherwise the cost minimized. Simple, my dears. You can do all the questions. So please practice all the other remaining past papers for chapter 3. So once we have time after we finished all the theoretical parts and relevant past papers, so we will come back later for practice, right? So in next class, we will learn about the data presentation and descriptive measures, where usually you will have MCQ questions and usually they will allocate the question number 5 for this, right? So these are the questions, there will be one or two MCQ questions related to chapter 4, and definitely there will be a full 10 marks question. Usually the question number 5 they will allocate for the unit 4, that is data presentation and descriptive measures, right? So let's learn that topics in tomorrow's session. Let's see all of you in the chapter 4 theoretical parts in the next session. Thank you all. Have a great day. See all of you in the next session. Bye.